Hello, it's Samantha here, Samantha Sutherland Art and Books. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my little corner of BookTube. It's lovely to have you here. This is what I would like to call a wrap-up. Now, I know I was supposed to have done it ages ago, but it's not that I forgot, it's that I forgot. And being that everything is a little bit insane at the moment, I have decided to take my chance, grab a minute and do it now. My book nook corner is undergoing a facelift. So at some point I'll be back there, maybe. I have a few plans for downstairs, plans that are doable, so I'm calling them plans. Things like I'm upgrading my computer chair. I am doing more to make the desk area a working area for all sorts of things, and also maybe even filming videos. We will see. I'm not going to completely neglect my book nook. Possibly, we'll see. But to those of you who are new here, welcome. It's lovely to meet you. Hi, I'm Samantha. I am the strange person in charge of this channel. To those of you who've been here for a while, welcome back. Now, I don't know if you can see up, actually you won't be able to, up here where this yellow book is. You can just about see it. It's a Sci-Fi Masterworks. That is Flowers for Algernon. I read that. I forgot the date because it's on my Goodreads and I'm using my phone to film. So yeah, I wrote notes because even though it was quite a while since I read it, I do remember quite a bit. It's stuck in my head. It was an amazing book. Absolutely loved it. So I will put a picture of it somewhere here. I'll see if I can get my hand in a good place so that I can make it look like it magically appears in my editing process. What is Flowers for Algernon? It's a book, obviously, written in, I think it was 1968. I could be wrong on that date. By Daniel Keyes. I remember the author. So we're getting somewhere. It's about Charlie Gordon. He is a person with a developmental disability. His IQ at the very beginning of the book is at 68, and it's not a spoiler, but he's got something called phenylketonuria, which if you Google what does Charlie Gordon have in Flowers for Algernon, it comes up. It's not really a spoiler. It does have an acronym, and I can't remember. I think it's like P, but I have no idea, PHN or something. I don't know. And the book, in my opinion, was just absolutely awesome. I was looking for something to read. I was in a bit of a reading slump after I think I'd finished Pen Pal. And I was watching Rammel Broadcasting and he mentioned the book. And I thought, sounds quite good. And then I was buying some books, as one does. And it was buy 3, get 1 free. And I was looking for a 4th book so I could get one of them for free. And I found Flowers for Algernon, and I remembered about it being mentioned on Rammel Broadcasting, and I thought, I think I might take a look at that. So I got the book, and I am so glad I did. I have never felt so many emotions reading a book before. I felt happy, I felt sad, I felt upset, and it's just an amazing book. So we start with Charlie before he has a procedure. He's not the smartest, and he's not one they would normally want to choose by the sounds of the book, but they do. He convinces them, and he's getting through life the best that he can. And he is a man who's being looked after by many people because of his developmental disability. and he sees them as friends, but some of them, he's just a man though who just wants to be smart. And he starts keeping a journal, and it's with this journal that the book is basically the journal of Charlie's life from the beginning of the procedure, or just before he has it, to the very end. And you can see how he progresses, and I think it's amazing how it's done. And as we go on, we learn that the people that Charlie works with, as he becomes smarter, they become a bit more fearful of him. Because they can't play pranks on him like they used to. They can't play jokes and joke around with him like they used to. They say something and Charlie corrects them because they're not as smart as he is. He starts to be able to speak different languages and write in Latin, and he leaves people behind him with his newfound IQ, with his newfound genius. And even the people who were like the smartest of the smart, they're now quite dumb compared to Charlie, to the point that he even starts to research his own experiment because he's the only smart one who can do that. And we see that they actually treated through flashbacks, we can see how they treated him. There are certain stories in the book when he's remembering, because Charlie realizes that these things that he's remembering, they're actual memories, and some of them are quite horrible, which is why some of the book got me like quite angry at times and quite upset because of the way that they treated Charlie, because obviously he was stupid to them. He was dumb and he wasn't smart, and they could play pranks on him and do things to him that they thought was funny, was entertaining, and Charlie just didn't understand at the time. But as he gets smarter and smarter, he realizes actually this wasn't quite right, and also they just start treating him very, very different, and he becomes lonely. He becomes very lonely as the book progresses. And he realizes that his mother, what he thought was love from his mum, sadly was abuse. The way that she would treat him, the way that she would belittle him, the way others would belittle him, the way his classmates would play pranks on him to make him look like a weirdo. And unfortunately, people believed it, but it wasn't Charlie's fault because his IQ was so low that he didn't understand what was going on. But he realizes that actually as he's getting smarter, the memories are just showing that certain things and certain people in his life weren't what he thought. And you kind of are wondering whilst you're reading the book, was he better off as he was? Or is it good that he's learned these things? Or should he, if it's possible, should he go back to the way he was before? And is that fair to him? And it was just an amazing book. And it's not just his journey, but how the experiment can, for amount of time, help him to become what his mother always wanted, which was smarter. There are chapters in the book where his mother is looking for cures to make him clever, and Charlie's dad is just basically like, just leave Charlie as he is. He's quite happy. He doesn't care. And his mother's like, well, I care. I want him to be smart. I want him to be clever. Does she want him to be smart and clever, or is it that she wants him to be able to look after himself? Because as he is, as he was in the book at the beginning, he couldn't look after himself. He needed people to help him. And by the end of the book, obviously, he can completely look after himself because he becomes so very clever, and it's an amazing read. It was absolutely fantastic. It had me smiling at times, and some things were like, had me chuckling at times and giggling, and then I'd be sat there going, oh no, poor Charlie, and my husband's like, what? So he may read the book at some point, I don't know, but I'd read bits and say, this is just really sad. So yeah, how Charlie's treated at the beginning to how he's treated at the very end, it's very, very different. And the procedure definitely changes his life. Whether it's for the better, I don't know. It was an interesting experience reading the book. there were times that I wished that he'd been left alone, because he becomes so lonely. His only friend is a mouse, Algernon. I just absolutely love this book. I cannot recommend it enough. It was just an absolutely fantastic read. And at one point I realised I had like 30 pages left. I was like, why aren't I finishing this book? It's taking me forever. I didn't want to finish it because I didn't want it to come to an end, because I was really enjoying it so much. That definitely, in my opinion, is definitely 5-star. If I gave things 5 stars, which I do tend to do a lot with books, that's definitely a 5-star. Completely, 100%, absolutely loved it. Can highly recommend that book. It was absolutely fantastic. Definitely one that you should add to your TBR list. And then I listened to Ubik on Audible. I'd already read Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, and I thought, oh, that was quite good. I'd seen Blade Runner more times than I can count on my hands and feet. I've seen it that many times. It's my favourite, one of my favourite sci-fi films. My all-time favourite is Alien. My second is Blade Runner. Absolutely love Blade Runner. And again, it's a book that I was recommended by Rammel Broadcasting. I was watching Rammel, and he was talking about Philip K. Dick and where to start. And I thought, well, I've got Do Androids Dream. And I read it. And I remembered him talking about Ubik and it being completely bonkers. And it is the most insane thing I've ever heard. I want the book as an actual proper copy so I can read it. With me, I do love listening to audiobooks, but sometimes it doesn't always sink in, I think, because if I'm doing something as well as listening to it, it doesn't completely sink in. So I like to be able to read a hard copy. So I'm going to be buying myself. I'm going down to Waterstones this week, and I'm hoping to get a copy of Ubik if I can find it. It's by Philip K. Dick. It was the second Philip K. Dick book that I read. And it's about a group of psychics. So there are these psychics who go off-world to somewhere called Luna, because they are employed by Glenn Munster. Glenn Munster runs this company that hires out psychics to infiltrate and find the inertials, and these inertials are like terrorists. But the thing is, he says, if you ever have to go if you have to go to another planet, it's a trap. They go to Luna, and guess what? It's a trap. Something catastrophic happens, and it changes all of their lives. It's very weird. Like, time goes really fast. Time kind of, does it go slow? I can't remember. Time kind of goes weird, but the psychics, they are just still moving forward at a fast rate. So when they die, they just completely decompose and turn to dust. And during the book, you like the characters a lot, but you shouldn't get attached to them. It's really weird as well, because like it's quite futuristic. It's set in the future for when the book was written, but you still need a coin to operate doors and wardrobes and things, otherwise you ain't getting your clothes out. And so they go off world to Luna, then something catastrophic happens, and then they have to try and figure out what the heck is going on. And by the end of it, it was kind of like, what did I just listen to? That was absolutely fantastic. I never in a million years thought I would ever read any Philip K. Dick books. I'd heard Do Androids Dream was a load of rubbish. Don't read it, it's rubbish. Even my father-in-law was like, no one seems to like Do Androids Dream of Electric. She was like, I'm really enjoying it. He's like, oh, okay. I really enjoyed it, and I thought Ubik was even better. It's my favourite one so far. And but you're trying to figure out what the heck is going on. Their boss, Glenn Munster, seems to have been killed in this event, and they're trying to get him to half-life so they can put his consciousness in like a computer type thing so that you can chat to him and things like that. And he's sending his employees really weird like clues and things and telling them what they should and shouldn't be doing, but they're doing it through adverts. And like was it Mr. Chip, Joe Chip, he's trying to figure out what's going on because he was one of the ones that was affected. And he's married to a psychic who can change the like an event and things like that, and she disappears and it's all very weird. And he's trying to get to wherever Glenn Runster's funeral is being held, and he's trying to barter his way to get there because the money doesn't help. The money is like a bit weird. So he starts driving to this airfield in this really nice like vintage, I think like Ford or something, and then he convinces the pilot to fly him to wherever it is because he's got this, I think it was a Ford, and he's like, it's really rare, it's yours, it's worth a fortune, you can have it. And he's like, yeah, okay. And then when he goes to look at the car, he's like, well, this isn't the car you said it was, this is a totally different car. And he's like, how did that happen? And Ubik is this, I don't know what it is, it's like an all-round medicine. It does this, that, and all the other. And Glenn Runster keeps telling him Joe needs to take this stuff, he needs to take it, he needs to use it. And it goes from being like a polish type thing to, or like a soap, to a liquid, to a powder, and things like disintegrate and things. It's very weird. And as I was listening to it, I feel like stupid smiles on my face while laughing. It was just absolutely fantastic. And as Rammel Broadcasting mentioned in his breakdown, which I'll link underneath because it's definitely worth watching his breakdown, the chapter with the stairs, oh my god, jaw on the floor, loved it. Held my breath. It was fantastic. And I did really enjoy the book, and I am so glad that I read it. Thanks to Audible, and I'm going to be buying a hard copy. But if you like bonkers sci-fi with amazing twists, this is definitely a book I would definitely recommend. Another 5-star. In fact, 10. I'm going to give it 10 out of 10. I'd give Flash for Algernon 5, and I think Ubik for me was a 10. I absolutely loved it. Every minute I was entertained. I listened to it very quickly. I couldn't stop once I started. I'd listen to like an hour or more at a time, which for me is unusual. I read, like I said, Andre's Dream of Electric Sheep, which I did really like. I really enjoyed it, but I think this for me is my favourite. At the moment, I am listening to Dr. Bloodmoney, which I'm liking. And I'm trying to forget about Ubik because I need to listen to it because apparently it's even better than Ubik. But we'll see. I don't think it is. I'm sorry, Ubik for me is my favourite Philip K. Dick. But yeah, I am enjoying listening to Dr. Bloodmoney. It's quite good, I have to admit. Different. My tea's gone cold. Ugh. But yeah, those are the 2 books that I read a couple of months ago that I didn't do a wrap-up on. And that's my wrap-up of those 2 books. I'm a mood reader, and I'm doing Tudor Timber, as I have announced, and there were a couple of videos on my channel here. But because everything's going a little bit insane at the moment, I made a video about it, but basically I'm having to do some things to look after my dad, and we're going to be moving him into sheltered accommodation hopefully quite soon. So I'm not going to get as much chance to sit and read, and it's a bit gutting because it's all gutting obviously because, you know, having to help my dad because he's having trouble. But the fact that I was kind of hoping to just kind of sit and relax and read, which I've been able to do some reading, but I'm finding it really hard to sit down and read. Exactly. And I think for me, Tudor Timber is going to end at the end of September, which I think I've mentioned in one of my shorts. And I'm also a very, very big mood reader. And again, I was watching Rammel Broadcasting. There's a theme here. I'm sure there is. And he mentioned something about the road. And I forgot I'd actually bought it ages ago. And I did try reading Daily Triffids, which I've not completely DNF'd. I will probably pick it up another time and start reading it when I'm more in the mood to read something where plants try to kill everyone. Though there were some comedy, quite funny moments in it. But as well as reading Crown of Blood, which is a fantastic book by Nicola Tallis, I just needed something really easy to read whilst I was trying to distract myself, because the other day I just got really, really overwhelmed and I just needed to sit down and I didn't want to watch anything and I just wanted to read something a bit different. And then, like I said, I've been watching Rammel Broadcasting and he mentioned about the road. I was like, oh, that sounds good. They made a film out of it. Would I watch the film? I don't know. And then when I was in my bedroom here on my bookcase, I found The Road by Cormac McCarthy. I've been reading it for 3-ish days. I'm already at page 144. It's such an easy read. It's fab. I'm really, really enjoying it. I am still reading Crown of Blood, but this, I hate to admit, has taken over my reading for now. I am listening to Anne Boleyn and Elizabeth I by Tracy Borman, which I am not far off finishing, which is what I'm going to finish Tudor Timber with. But this, I'm really, really enjoying this. If you don't know what The Road is, they did make a film with Viggo Mortensen, who you may remember as being in Lord of the Rings. And he's known as the man, and he's got a little boy, he's called the boy. And they are on a road somewhere in America. And they are walking the said road. And they have to dodge very nasty people, people who mean to do them harm. And also they have to find food and they have to try and survive. And there are moments when I was just reading, I couldn't put the book down. I realised I sat and read for over an hour, which for me is unusual. But it helped to distract. It's very distracting. It's a page turner. It's absolutely brilliant. You start off quite kind of like, oh, yeah, walking down a road. Yeah, it's a road. And as they get further down the road, I think they want to get to like the coast. I think the dad thinks, or the man, as he's called, thinks he gets to the coast, everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be sorted out. They're both going to be fine. I'm just, yeah, it's amazing, and my jaw has dropped to the said ground a few times, and I've had to hold my breath, and it's like, and I've been reading it, and I've been going, oh no, my daughter's been going, is it bad? Is it going to be bad? What's happening? I'm like, you're 10. It's not friendly for you. But yeah, I would definitely like to probably read one or more books by Cormac McCarthy. This I'm thoroughly enjoying, and for me to be 144 pages in after like 3 days shows how much I've been enjoying the book. Yeah, so I've dialed back a lot of my reading, and I just decided that I'm going to take my reading as a mood reader, but I might try and come up with something. I want to do something for Halloween for October. I'm looking to decorate and do something fun and not just read but also watch. Talking of watch, I'm looking forward to sitting down and finally watching Elizabeth at some point before the end of September. So that and Shakespeare in Love, which it's not my usual cup of tea, but it's Tudor themed. So, but yeah, I may even, and I kept saying I'm never going to watch The Road, never going to watch it. I think I might try and track it down, and I might have a watch of The Road to see which was better? Is it like the book? Was the film better? Although I think the book is amazing. It's got to go a long way to beat the book. So yeah, so that's what I've been up to over the last couple of months. So I finished reading Algernon and Ubik a while ago, and I'm very sorry that I'm just doing a wrap up. This is what I'm reading right now, and October I'm hoping to maybe read something spooky because it's spooky season. So yes. So I'm going to stop rambling now, and I'm going to go make myself a new cup of tea, and I will see you all hopefully very soon to do the Tudor Timbre wrap up. I do have a whole video to do, which I'm hoping will be done within the next few days. It might be done into October now because we're like a week away from October. But yes, I'm hoping to finish Tracy Borman very, very soon, her book, and I'm hoping to watch at least Elizabeth. I do love Elizabeth. I've not seen it for a long time. So until my next video, if you're looking for me, you can find me on here, on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook and on Instagram and on Goodreads. And on that note, good reading to you. Stay warm, stay cozy, and happy reading. And I hope you enjoy whatever you're reading. And I will see you all again very, very soon. See you later, everyone. Bye-bye.